Hello and welcome, everyone. Today, we are diving deep into the world of triangles to unlock one of the most powerful concepts in all of geometry: similarity. Now, I know it sounds simple, but this one idea is what lets us measure, well, pretty much the entire universe. So, how does it work? Let's find out.
Really think about that for a second. How did we figure out the height of a mountain that no one could climb with a tape measure, or the distance to the moon? It wasn't with some ridiculously giant ruler, right? The answer is all in the clever application of math. And believe it or not, it all starts with the humble triangle.
So, to answer that huge question, we need a game plan. First, we'll tackle what it even means to measure the impossible. Then, we'll get clear on the difference between congruent and similar. After that, we'll cover the two main rules for similarity, some awesome shortcuts for triangles, a super important theorem from a guy named Thales, and finally, we'll see it all come together in a real-world example. All right, so how do we measure these massive things? Well, the secret isn't some high-tech gadget. It's actually an ancient idea called indirect measurement, where we use logic and what we can see to figure out lengths we could never, ever physically touch. And that's our key word for today: similarity. This one single idea is what turns all those impossible measurements into a puzzle we can actually solve. It's all about understanding the relationships between different shapes. Now, to really get what similarity is, we've got to compare it to something you probably already know: congruence. Understanding how they're different is the absolute first step. Okay, let's break it down. Over here, we've got congruent figures. Think of these as identical twins. They have the exact same shape and the exact same size. Now, on the other side, we have similar figures. They also have the same shape, but their size? Not necessarily the same. Think of it like a photograph and a little thumbnail of that same photo. Same picture, just different size. You know, this idea is all around us. For example, all circles are similar to each other. A tiny little circle and a giant one have the exact same shape, just scaled up. Same goes for all equilateral triangles. They all have 60-degree angles, so their fundamental shape is identical no matter how long their sides are. And this brings us to a super important rule of thumb. All congruent figures are by definition also similar. I mean, if they're identical, they have to have the same shape, right? But, and this is the key part, it doesn't work the other way around. Those two similar squares, a big one and a small one, they are definitely not congruent. Okay, so we've got the general idea down, but in math, we need to be precise. For any two polygons, not just triangles, to be officially called similar, they have to pass two very specific tests. And here they are. Rule number 1. All their corresponding angles have to be equal. So the top left angle on one shape has to match the top left angle on the other. Rule number 2, their corresponding sides have to be proportional. This just means the ratio between the sides is the same for all of them. We call that ratio the scale factor. But you might be wondering, do we really need both rules? Couldn't we get away with just one? That's a great question, and we can actually test it out really easily. Okay, let's look at case 1. What if only the angles are equal? Take a square and a long, skinny rectangle. Are their angles equal? Yep, they're all 90 degrees, so they pass rule 1. But are their sides proportional? No way. The ratio of the sides in the square is 1:1, but it's totally different for the rectangle, so they're not similar. All right, what about the other way around? Let's say the sides are proportional, but the angles aren't. Think of a square and a rhombus, like a squished square. If we make their side lengths the same, then the sides are proportional. The ratio is just 1. But the angles? The square has all 90-degree angles, but the rhombus doesn't. So they fail rule 1, and they are not similar. This proves it. You absolutely need both conditions to be met. Now here is where things get really, really cool. While all other shapes need to follow those two strict rules, triangles are special. They have some amazing shortcuts or criteria that make proving they're similar way easier. These are your 3 magic keys. First up is angle, 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 or AAA. If you can show that all 3 angles in one triangle match the 3 angles in another, they're similar. Done. Then there's side, 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 or SSS. If the ratio of all 3 pairs of corresponding sides is the same, they're similar. And finally, side, angle, side, or SAS. If you have 2 pairs of sides that are proportional and the angle between them is equal, you're golden. They're similar. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. That first rule, AA, you don't even need to check all 3 angles. If you know 2 angles in a triangle match 2 angles in another, the third one has to match too. because all three have to add up to 180 degrees. So really, all you need is AA, or angle-angle. It's the most common and fastest way to prove similarity. Speaking of all these proportions, we have to talk about a foundational theorem that's built on this very idea. It's called the basic proportionality theorem, but it's often just called Thales' theorem, after the legendary Greek mathematician who figured it out thousands of years ago. So what this theorem says is actually pretty elegant. Take any triangle you want. Now just draw a line inside it that's parallel to one of the sides. That line's going to chop the other two sides into smaller pieces, right? Well, the theorem says it chops them perfectly in proportion. The ratio of the pieces on one side will be the exact same as the ratio of the pieces on the other. The proof for this is just so clever, so let's walk through the main idea. First, we draw some extra lines to make a few more triangles. Now, the genius move is to compare the areas of these triangles. Using the simple area formula, half base times height, we can create these fractions, these ratios of areas. But the real aha moment is remembering that two triangles on the same base and squished between the same parallel lines have the exact same area. Once you know that, the math just falls into place and you've proved the theorem. Okay, we've done the theory, we know the rules, we know the shortcuts. Now, let's bring this all back to where we started and solve a real-world problem. Let's actually measure something that seems kind of tricky. Okay, here's a classic problem. We've got a girl who's 0.9 meters tall. She's walking away from a 3.6 meter tall lamppost at 1.2 meters per second. The big question is, after exactly 4 seconds, how long is her shadow? The first step is always to find the triangles hidden in the problem. See them? There's a big triangle made by the lamppost, the ground, and the beam of light. And there's a small triangle made by the girl, the ground, and that same beam of light. Now, are they similar? Well, both the lamppost and the girl are standing straight up, so that's a 90-degree angle for both. One angle matched. And they both share the exact same angle down on the ground where the shadow ends. So that's 2 matching angles. And bam! By AA similarity, we know these two triangles are similar. And because they're similar, we know their corresponding sides are proportional. So the ratio of their heights, the lampost's height to the girl's height, has to equal the ratio of their bases, the big shadow to the little shadow. Okay, after 4 seconds, the girl has walked 4.8 meters. Let's call her shadow length x. So the small triangle's base is x, and the big triangle's base is the whole thing, 4.8 meters plus x. Now we can set up our equation. We just plug in the numbers, do a little bit of algebra to solve for x, and we get our answer. The shadow is 1.6 meters long. And just like that, we use this abstract idea from geometry to solve a totally real physical problem. That is the power of similarity. So let's wrap this all up. What did we learn today? Similarity just means same shape, different size. For triangles, remember your 3 magic shortcuts: AA, SSS, and SAS. Thales' theorem is your go-to for problems with parallel lines inside triangles. And most importantly, all of these tools work together to help you measure pretty much anything. So now you have the toolkit. What else could you measure? Could you figure out the height of a tree in your backyard just by using its shadow? Or the width of a river without even getting your feet wet? The possibilities are literally endless.
For more study anime explainers just like this one, covering your entire 10th class NCERT syllabus, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the EDU Meter channel. Thanks for watching.